All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing another beer from the Ever Grain Brewing Company, and they're out of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, and this is their Joose Juicy. So they're calling this one an IPA that comes in at 6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. I don't know exactly how old this can is because it does not have a canned on date, but it was given to me by a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Justin, so huge thanks to him for this beer. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer haul video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with and gave me a case of PA beer. He gave me 3 beers from Ever Grain, and this is the second that I'm reviewing. The first one was their Trace the Roots, which was a 7.5% hazy IPA, and to me it was just a generic hazy IPA. It wasn't bad. Wasn't great. It was just solid. I give it 3.75 out of 5. It was enjoyable to some degree. So I have now this one to review. I also have their Oktoberfest. So I'm really excited to give this one a go after the last one. I'm hoping that this is a little bit better. On the side here, I already read it because I started looking at it and it was tasting notes and I didn't know. So I'm not going to sit here bullshit and be like, I didn't read it. I did. It says soft textured with a pleasant bitterness. This free-spirited India Pale Ale features a malty backbone supporting a dank resinous hop character with aromas of pine and citrus. So on tap too, they refer to this one as a mid-Atlantic take on a New England style IPA. So is this gonna be a New England IPA? Is it gonna be like a hybrid of this and like an old school like East Coast IPA? Who knows? It also says don't shake the tree when the fruit ain't ripe. It's true. Be eating underripened fruit unless you like that, then I guess you do. But give me all the overripened fruit. I want that sticky, sweet fruit. Anyway, let's give this a pour. Yeah, so that's looking hazy and juicy. Also, shout out to a viewer of the channel, Chris. Chris, loves his PA goodness. He sends some great beer mails to like a good friend of mine and fellow beer tuber Kyle over at No Hype Beer Reviews. He did specifically comment on that Trace the Root beer. He's like, Ever Grain makes fantastic beers. Maybe you got a bad can, so on and so forth. Maybe it just didn't resonate to my palate, whatever. But everything I've heard about Ever Grain has been pretty good, especially from their like Sorbetto series. But I've heard good things in general. So I was kind of disappointed that Trace the Roots beer. I'm hoping this is a little bit better. So this has that dark kind of more honey orange kind of haze to it. Has just over a finger of an off-white, really creamy looking head. Yeah, I mean, I've had so many hazies that look like that yeah, it's kind of proper, maybe a bit darker, but for a 6% hazy, but looks fine. Yeah, let's get into it. Oh, that smells really good. So again, I don't know how fresh this is because there's no date on the can. And excuse me, the aforementioned Justin, he said he tried to get stuff as fresh as he possibly could, but with some of this stuff, he just didn't know for sure. So it smells fresh. It has that beautiful, and a lot of times with hazy IPAs, when you get that, abundance and melange of different citrus fruits, you kind of know right from the rip, like, oh, that's a fresh beer. This, to my nose, definitely screams fresh. Oh yeah, Tangelo. It has that tangerine, grapefruit kind of vibe. It's sweet, it's juicy, but you also get a little bit like that zesty, rindy quality. A little bit of like a guava and passion fruit, something different in here. And then it has this really nice, kind of like sharp, like floral kind of dankness. It almost smells like it's quite acidic. So it's starting to remind me of some breweries that have that like just certain kind of feel to them. There's 2 breweries out there, Old Nation and EQ, where I get this like slight acidic kind of orange feel. And I feel it's probably from their yeast, or maybe EQ always does the EQ juice finish or whatever. But that's kind of in that realm. Like it could be the water nerd treatment, as a good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber Matt over at Massive Beer says. Could be the yeast. Maybe just how the hops play with everything. But this smells better than that Trace the Roots, honestly. And I will say this, I know this is like their flagship beer, or the one they're most known for, because on Untappd, this has 3 times the amount of check-ins than the next closest beer. So this has to be like the standard, plus it's in a 12-ounce can. Most of their beers I saw that were in like 16-ounce cans. But yeah, this smells fucking dynamite. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Justin. Yeah, it's better than Trace the Roots. And I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought, this being in the 12-ounce can, I'll tell you what this reminds me of. And I don't know if that's a good thing or can be perceived as a good thing or a bad thing. But we'll talk about it in a sec. But I thought it'd be the opposite. This is a 12-ounce can, probably You get 6 packs of this. Maybe comes in variety packs. I don't know as much about Ever Grain, but feel like this is like their flagship, right? I would have thought Trace the Roots, which seemed to be like a one-off release or maybe a rotating release, I would have thought that would have been substantially better than this. That is not the case. This is really good. This reminds me, I'll tell you right now what it reminds me of. This reminds me of Hayburner here in the Western New York area from Big Ditch. It's in that same realm. Hayburner is like 7.2, so this is a bit lower at 6%. But this has everything I kind of want in this style. Super drinkable, 6%. All right, this is really good. This is really fucking good. Body on this one, touch over medium at 6%. That's impressive. The mouthfeel, it's soft, it's smooth, it's creamy. Has a decent carbonation to let you know, hey, this is a carbonated beverage / beer of some sort. But it has that nice, soft kind of creaminess that you expect from the style. Very smooth. But the taste, I just had Sleigh Burner from Big Ditch. You'll see that a little bit, maybe like 4 or 5 days before this one. And for Western New York Wednesday. And that Sleigh Burner was their Hayburner brewed with blood oranges. That kind of has this feel to it. I almost get a slight acidic feel, but this is more in the Hayburner realm with a touch of like a blood orange. So let's go over the taste real quick. Right to forefront, that Tangelo. So it's sweeter, juicier, tangerine, grapefruit, orange. And then after that, I get a little bit of blood orange. Then right after that, I get this nice pop of like passion fruit. Like it has a passion fruit kind of feel to it. Then on the second half of the palate, it finishes with this nice floral dank kind of quality. This is semi to full on dry with a nice mild to moderate bitterness, probably more approaching moderate, but it's not too bitter. I think this is probably more in the realm of what I want from a New England style from the bitterness aspect. This has a decent bitterness to hold up to all those sweet, juicy, hop and malt characters at the front. Now, it's also a very slight, and I didn't mention it because I didn't get it in the nose, but in the taste, there's a slight, small, like bready, biscuity kind of malt character. Kind of omnipresent, but underneath everything, just propping up all the hop flavors. This is really nice. I'll be honest with you, I think I like this better than Hayburner. And listen, I'm from the Western New York area. Hayburner is that classic now at this point, shelfy IPA you can get everywhere. 6 packs are, $11.99, or not even $11.99, $10.99 to $11.49 for a 6 pack. And it's just a great beer, and I love Big Dish. But this is better than Big Dish. Although I will say when Big Dish has a batch of Hayburner that hits, probably just as good as this, maybe a touch better. But I'm liking this a lot. This is, and again, I didn't think this was going to be better than Trace the Roots. To my palate, it totally is. This might be a shelf turd in PA. Maybe not, but what they said about this one, and they say it's the Mid-Atlantic take on like a hazy. I guess that's kind of what Hayburner is to some degree. This just has a really good, says aromas of pine and citrus. Not really pine, but dank, resinous hop character. Yeah, but it's more like to me like that, like a floral kind of dank quality than anything. But this is really, really good. So I'm going to give a Joose Juicy from Ever Grain. I'm going to give this a high 4.25 and go 4.3. It's that fucking good. Like, again, I wouldn't have, in a million years, when I saw the 2 beers he gave me, and I look at them, and another one I know is 5 weeks old. Who knows how old this is? I'd hope it's relatively fresh. Look, I was just like, the other one just sounds better. Like, it just looks better. It's a little bit bigger in ABV, so on and so forth. This is better than Trace the Roots for me. I give that a 3.75. This gets like a half point, over a half point higher. Price point availability, this is where hopefully the aforementioned Chris or Justin or anybody in PA that can get their hands on Ever Grain, hopefully you can post in the comment section. Let me know what a 6-pack of this costs. I would love to see this around the Hayburner price of $11, $12 a 6-pack. But if this was like $15, $16 a 6-pack, I'd still have no issues paying that, because this is a quality New England IPA, hazy IPA. This is very high quality for something that might be super easy to get. Dare I say, like, again, a shelfy, hazy, something in that realm. This is really good. So please let me know. And same thing with availability. We saw, now I will say this, with Ever Grain, I saw a couple sorbetto show up, which is their like fruited sour series. Have not seen any hazies from them. If I see anything outside of sorbettos, and I'll probably pick up a sorbetto too because I've heard good things, but if I see anything outside of that, I will grab it because this has made me now a fan. So they're 1 for 2. Trace the Roots, not that great. This, really fucking good. I'm going to take another sip. Just make sure I'm not fucking up here. No, I'm not. And it also has, like I said, like that slightly acidic kind of blood orange feel to it. I don't know. This is fucking good. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know. 6%. You can't feel the alcohol because you shouldn't. And not much more to say about it. Huge thanks to Justin for this one. I have their Oktoberfest, which I will review probably in the next week or two. You'll see the review of that. I was trying to get all the Oktoberfest and pumpkin beers done before the end of November. We'll see if I'll make it or not. I'm pretty sure I will. But yeah, thanks to Justin. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one. Cheers.